Last week, Greyhavens reopened the preview server and invited players to help test the upcoming Monster Spikes feature, but it didn't take long for those first changes to arrive. One of the biggest adjustments addresses monster movement. Greyhavens has reduced several of the spike buffs, meaning players should no longer encounter what the developers jokingly described as supersonic moonwalking monsters. Monster spikes will also now briefly glow before appearing, giving players a chance to react instead of having them suddenly materialize nearby. Another important change, monster spikes will no longer appear during missions or boss levels, keeping the mechanic focused on standard clockworks exploration. Greyhaven's also clarified that the current spike trade-in values are only placeholders. Fire crystals have temporarily been disabled for trade-in, and spikes themselves currently sell for only 1 crown, while the team continues balancing the economy. They are encouraging players to continue sharing feedback, but also reminding everyone that none of these numbers are final. I think this is exactly what the preview server was brought back for. Players get a chance to experiment, developers gather feedback, then improvements happen before the feature reaches the live game. That's a really healthy development process. And if testing mysterious monster spikes isn't quite enough excitement for you, Spiral HQ has also launched a brand new promotion this week. The AeroTech Mk II prize box is taking players to new heights with a collection of aviation themed gear in 4 new colours: Tech Red, Tech Violet, Tech Yellow, and Tech Azure. The promotion includes the Mayday Aura, Airbreaker costume shields, propeller eyes, swing wings, and chaff packs, along with a variety of costumes, accessories, and dynamic accessories. So, if you've ever wanted your night to look like they're preparing for takeoff from the Clockworks runway, well, Spiral HQ apparently has got you covered. The AeroTech Mk II promotion is available now, and the full list of items can be found through the AeroTech Mk II prizebook page on the Spiral Knights wiki. While the preview server continues evolving, Greyhaven's also pushed another small live update this week. Dust Bunny dens now make sounds when destroyed, Krogmo tooltip improvements, server improvements. Interestingly, some community members noticed that Dust Bunny sounds were added to an asset that currently isn't used elsewhere in the game. While that certainly sparked some intrigue, nothing has officially been announced by Greyhavens, so we'll wait for confirmed information before reading too much into it. Unfortunately, it wasn't a completely smooth week for everyone. On July 31st, players experienced login and connection issues that temporarily prevented many from accessing the game. Greyhavens responded quickly and confirmed those problems had been resolved. A few days later, however, a separate issue began affecting some players, leaving them stuck on a black screen while trying to enter Haven. According to the developers, this is not related to the outage on July 31st. Right now, the team believes the issue is affecting Australian players in particular, and they've suggested temporarily switching your server region to USA from the night selection screen as a possible workaround. If you're still experiencing the problem, Greyhavens is asking players to submit an in-game bug report using /bug or F2 immediately after encountering the black screen. Those reports include important diagnostic information that helps the team identify the cause. And if the issue continues after that, you can also reach out directly to the developers through support@spiralknights.com. Hopefully, we'll have a permanent fix to report in next week's episode. Every community has people who help bring everyone together. For this week's community spotlight, I had the pleasure of sitting down with the husband and wife team behind JGErrant, who are doing exactly that through their upcoming beginner-friendly PvP tournament. We talked about their channel, what inspired them to organise the event, and why they believe community-run events play such an important role in keeping the Spiral Knights community connected. Let's jump into the conversation.
All right, let's circle back. So before we talk about the tournament at all, we're going to talk about you guys for a minute. Can you tell everyone a little bit about JGErrant and what you guys do?
Yeah, so we are JGErrant. I'm Judah.
And Jenny.
Our knights' names are Errant Owl, Errant Bug.
Mhm.
We just stream Spiral Knights regularly. We've got our own guild. We figure out what we're doing every week pretty much, and we just hang out.
Mostly just having some fun.
Yeah.
How did Spiral Knights become the thing that you guys kind of started doing together?
So I have played Spiral Knights on and off since around 2011, pretty much since it released. I had not played in quite a while. Following the Forge update, I was talking to Jenny about it and saying that I was kind of wanting to get back in, but I wasn't sure. And Jenny, what did you say?
I was like, you know what? You've been talking about this game since we met, and we have a little laptop that could maybe possibly run the game. And I was like, why don't we just do it? And he looked at me kind of, are you sure? And I was like, yeah, let's just try. And lo and behold, the little laptop runs it really well.
Yeah.
Oh, that's amazing. Did you guys like decide to stream it off the bat or just to play it together or
So we were playing for a couple of months, for a while.
No, it was about like, well, yeah, maybe like 2 months.
And one of our friends just pointed out, like, hey, you guys used to stream, you haven't in a while. You're playing this game a lot. Why don't you just stream it? And we went, huh? Yeah, that's a really good idea. And that's when we started streaming.
Well, I'm really glad they gave you that suggestion then, because it seems like it's,
Absolutely.
going really well so far. What's it like kind of making that content together as a team, as husband and wife?
Honestly, it is so much fun. I think that we bring out the best in each other. I'm very loud and I am very animated, and I am Mexican. So I always say I'm Mexican, I am loud. And so and Judah can be more reserved and quiet. And I think that we are so comfortable with each other that when we're sitting together and we're playing a game that we enjoy, it just brings that out, and you can just it's just hanging out with my friend. So
And I think in terms of the gameplay of Spiral Knights, in terms of the experience that we're giving to others and showing on stream, I have that experience and game knowledge, and
Mhm.
Jenny is still very new to the game. So it's a good mix of being able to explain how the game works, but also being able to talk about the history of the game and what it means to people.
Yep, and I'm
Yeah.
just along for the ride, so it's very fun.
That kind of sounds like the perfect like combination of people to like do that together then. I was wondering if there was going to be anything that you found like challenging about that, but that really does sound like the kind of perfect play off each other, the perfect duo for that. So that's amazing to
you.
hear actually. Right, should we get into talking about the tournament then? Where did the idea come from originally?
So we've got, in terms of our community, it's a lot of our personal friends, but it's also a lot of people who are just playing the game. So we've got a good mix of people who have been playing the game forever. We've got some people that are brand new to the game, some people that have tried it out and stopped somewhere around tier 2, early tier 3. So it's a wide mix of people, and we wanted to play PvP, but we wanted to be fair and accessible for everyone.
Is that why you decided to kind of limit to like 0 and 1 star gear?
Absolutely. It's
Yeah.
accessibility, it's affordability. Spiral Knights is a bit of a grind sometimes. I love it to death. It is a bit time consuming to get your full 5-star gear.
Mhm.
But if you've played for even a couple hours, you've got, I mean, at least you've got 0-star stuff. You start with the proto gear. So
And I think that it's a good way to kind of allow um, our friends and players who have more experience be able to play with the people who don't have as much experience
yes.
on an even playing field, but also kind of get them mingling, because sometimes on stream we'll play with our viewers, and so we'll do like really high level missions, and then some days we'll do like the lower level missions with the people who are trying to progress, and there's not a ton of mix between those two groups, and I think this was a good way to kind of bring them together.
Absolutely.
Oh, that's really nice that like to bring those two groups together. I think it's kind of the best way to try and grow the community and for everybody to have a good time playing the game. If somebody had never heard of the tournament before, um, how would you explain it to them? What's it all about?
So in terms of my perspective, um, I did grind out one of the PvP weapons when I was playing the game solo in like 2014, 2015. And it was a very intimidating experience. It was a lot of people with their fully kitted out gear that knew every little mechanic of the game. And I would just lose round after round after round. Um, and of course, now if you're looking at PvP, 9 times out of 10, there's no one queuing for any amount of PvP, unless there's some sort of event going on. So really, it is, I think, a very good opportunity to at least try PvP. to get your foot in the door, to get a feel for it.
I think for people like me, like I am very outgoing, but sometimes can be very shy. And I don't necessarily, I get really nervous when trying to interact with other players in game. And I think that this kind of gives everybody um, a really good base to start off with, as in like we're all doing this to have fun, and you can interact without feeling like, oh my gosh, I'm gonna get. What if someone is like, oh, you noob or something? And like you get kind of that even playing field, and I think it takes that a little bit of the nerves off as well.
And that makes a lot of sense. It's really a nice incentive, I think, for everybody to kind of give the event a shot and like come together as a community, whether you're new to the game or not. What are you hoping people remember after the event's finished?
I mean, I think like Jenny said, I'm hoping that we make some new connections, that players will see each other and start to form those connections, start to talk outside of the event, maybe run some more missions together. Um yeah, I mean, I'm just hoping that everyone has fun. I don't know, do you have anything more specific?
No, I think I know that streaming essentially you're trying to build more and more viewership and more community.
Right.
Honestly, even if we don't build anything from it, I think that what I want it to be is people can walk away from that and saying, you know what, I made one person that I made a connection with, and I
Right.
could, I friended them on the game, and I can come back to this and play with this person because we really connected.
It is as much to follow up on that. It is as much something for us, for our viewers and us personally, as it is just for the Spiral Knights community
Yeah.
as a whole.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Do you think that's why there's sort of more player run events popping up? Do you think it's kind of people wanting to bring others together or just to share their ideas?
I think so. I think that
Yeah.
in the short time that we have been streaming, we have already met so many talented people. It is really cool to see, but also I think that it is also a really good way to, especially with the updates that have been kind of going around recently, it is such a good way for the community to show um the devs and just everybody that, hey, this is still a thing that we love. We're still here and we would love for this to continue. And it brings people together.
And I think from my perspective as a longer term player, I think we have a ton of people that love this game. We have a ton of people that, were playing it religiously at one point. And for a lot of them, there's not a good excuse to log in. And it gives people that idea of like, yeah, maybe I should log in, quickly throw together some 1-star equipment and join a round or two, for people who haven't played in months, years, however long it's been.
Yeah, it really is an inclusive event. Is there anything else in general you'd like to see from the Sparrow Knights community or the game?
Honestly, I think that bringing more word of mouth. I know that it happens a lot, and I know that in within the community, people are very excited. But like Judah said, like sometimes people are like, oh, I reminisce. That's a game from my childhood, but there's not enough something to bring them back. And I think
Mhm.
things like this, or just kind of nudging someone and being like, hey, I know that you used to play this, you should check it out again because there's things happening. Or I guess word of mouth, I guess, would be what I.
Yeah, I don't think I have anything to add to that. I think from my perspective, in terms of what we're doing with Twitch, in terms of what you guys are doing with Spiral Central, I think, Twitch, YouTube, other social media platforms, I think again, there's a lot of people that have played this game and there's a lot of people that loved it. And if we can get both to new people and to people that may have forgotten about it, I think that's going to be a big thing as we start to see these new events come out, as we start to see both community stuff and the game updates. Yeah.
Before we finish up, where can everybody go to find you if they want to watch your streams or learn more about the tournament in general?
Twitch.tv/JGErrant. For the tournament details, those are primarily on our Discord server. The event is the Tourney of Singular Stars. It is going to be a Tier 1 lockdown. We are going to be starting at 5:30 Mountain Time and going until everyone gets bored. Feel free to DM us, ask any questions if you have any.
Yeah, like Judah said earlier, his in-game knight's name is Errant Owl, and mine is Errant Bug, and we do join regularly. So if anybody has any questions, they could send us a message there too.
We do also have a guild in game.
Oh, we do.
That is also very beginner friendly. Would also be a very good way to keep in contact with us.
Mhm. And we have a lot of players who are willing to like help or guide the newer players and bring them under their wing. So
Yeah.
It is very much a beginner friendly thing and just kind of a very have fun.
Oh, perfect. I think that's a really nice message actually to leave on. Thank you so much, guys, for having this chat with me today. It's been really nice to learn about your tournament and about your partnership in general and how you've come together and the things you want to do for the community, really, with bringing new players and older players together. I think it's really admirable, and I think it's just overall a really nice tournament for people to get involved in if they're looking for something fun to do in the game. So yeah, thank you again. And I think that's everything, really.
Absolutely. Thank you for having us.
Thank you, guys.
No problem.
Last week, I asked, what's the most underrated weapon in Spiral Knights? There were a lot of great answers this week, and I noticed a few interesting trends. Several of you nominated the slow sword line, with Triglav, Sodarushka, Grand Faust, Leviathan Blade, and Divine Avenger all getting some love. One response that really stood out came from Bruno, who argued that weapons like Triglav and Sodarushka aren't really designed to be top damage dealers. Instead, they're built around crowd control, staggering enemies, creating space, and helping teammates land their attacks. I thought that was a really interesting perspective because it highlights something that's easy to forget. Not every weapon has to top the damage charts to be valuable. There were also some great picks outside of swords. Nurse gave a shout out to the Antigua line, praising its sustained fire and long range utility. Dr. Switch picked the Dread Venom Striker, saying it's simply the most fun weapon in the game. Over on YouTube, we also saw some unique choices, including the Fang of Vogue, the Volcanic Pepper Box, and even the Deadly Crystal Bomb. Thank you to everyone who shared their thoughts. I always enjoy reading your responses. This week's question is, what's one enemy in Spiral Knights that still gives you trouble, no matter how long you've played? Maybe it's a boss, maybe it's a regular enemy that always seems to catch you off guard, or maybe it's one that makes you think, not this guy again. Let me know down in the comments or over on Discord, and some of my favourite responses will be featured in next week's episode. That brings us to the end of this week's briefing. But before we sign off, it's time for Kora's care package. If you're new here, every week, one member of our community will receive a randomly selected item from this month's care package collection. The items available this month are appearing on screen now. To become eligible for future care packages, all you need to do is subscribe to the Spiral Central YouTube channel, join Kora's Unit, our official Discord server, then head over to the Introductions channel and introduce yourself to the community. After that, you'll be eligible for every future Kora's care package drawing while you're a part of Kora's Unit. It's time for Kora's care package. And this week's care package item is Grey Trotters. The package is ready to ship. Let's see who it's heading to. Congratulations to Ghana. I'll be reaching out to you shortly so we can get your care package delivered. If your name wasn't selected this week, don't worry. You're automatically eligible for next week's care package as long as you're still a member of Kora's Unit. That's all for this week's episode of Spiral Central, and a big thank you again to JGErrant for sitting down with me and sharing the story behind their channel and their upcoming beginner-friendly PvP tournament. If you're interested in checking out their streams or getting involved with the event, you'll find more information in the description. Thank you as well to everyone who's been sending in their answers to the question of the week. I always enjoy seeing the different perspectives and ideas coming from the community. If you enjoyed the episode, consider subscribing for weekly Sparrow Nights news, updates, and community stories. I'll see you next Friday. Stay safe, Nights.